It was December 1992 in the heart of Long Island, New York. The festive spirit of the holiday season was in the air, but amidst the joy, a haunting mystery was about to unfold. An 8-year-old girl named Katie Beers had disappeared without a trace. Her vanishing act would send shockwaves through the tight-knit community, launching one of the most intense missing person investigations the state had ever seen. Katie Beers, with her innocent smile and sparkling eyes, deserved a childhood filled with warmth and love. Her life, however, was marred by a series of challenges and broken trust. She was no stranger to adversity, but she had not yet lost the hope of a better life. It was in this environment of longing and vulnerability that Katie found herself in the company of John Esposito, a seemingly well-intentioned family friend who would soon become inextricably linked to her fate. The vanishing of Katie Beers wasn't just another missing persons case. It was a grim enigma that left the nation bewildered. As days turned into weeks and weeks turned into months, a community's desperation for answers grew. In this chilling narrative, we delve into the inexplicable disappearance of Katie Beers and the tireless quest for truth, driven by a community's collective will. Join us in this harrowing journey as we explore the chilling story of a young girl's inexplicable disappearance, the determined investigators, and the resilient spirit of Long Island. Katie Beers' life commenced in the midst of a tumultuous and distressing environment in Long Island, New York. Her early years were anything but idyllic, characterized by instability and profound abuse. Born into a family where her biological father's identity remained a mystery, she faced the odds stacked against her from the very start. Katie's mother, Marilyn Beers, was ill-equipped to provide the stability and support her children needed. This left Katie and her older half-brother, John Beers, in a state of constant vulnerability. Marilyn's inability to maintain a secure home environment resulted in Katie and John frequently being entrusted to the care of Linda Ingillery, her godmother, and Ingillery's husband, Salvatore. Tragically, what should have been a place of refuge transformed into a house of horrors. Under the care of Ingillery's, Katie and John endured unfathomable abuse, including recurring sexual assaults perpetrated by Salvatore. The very people who should have been their protectors became their tormentors, inflicting deep physical and emotional scars. John Esposito, a family friend, emerged as a central figure in this dark narrative, and his roles would soon prove to be pivotal. On the surface, he appeared to be a well-intentioned friend, often lavishing Katie and John with gifts and attention. However, beneath this veneer of kindness lurked a sinister truth. Esposito was no benevolent figure. He had a malevolent side, which he was adept at concealing. His involvement in Katie's life would have a lasting and profoundly negative impact. As the harsh realities of Katie Beers' early life continued to haunt her, the most dreadful chapter of her story was about to unfold. Her kidnapping in December 1992 would send shockwaves across Long Island and beyond. The sinister chain of events leading to her abduction began when Katie was introduced to John Esposito. To her, he was a family friend, but his true intentions were far more sinister. He lured the vulnerable young girl into a web of deceit, taking advantage of her trust and affection. The details leading up to her kidnapping remained shrouded in darkness, much like the hidden underground bunker that would become her prison. Katie was led to an underground dungeon in Bayshore, New York, a place that would confine her for a horrifying 17 days. The bunker, cunningly constructed to evade detection, was equipped with a ventilation system, a makeshift bathroom, and a small bed. In this grim and desolate chamber, Katie's life took a devastating turn. The news of Katie's disappearance sent shockwaves through the local community and beyond. Her family, initially unaware of the malevolent forces at play, feared for her safety and well-being. Her mother, Marilyn Beers, was devastated, realizing too late that her turbulent life had placed her daughter in grave danger. Law enforcement agencies swiftly sprang into action. The search for Katie Beers became a top priority, and the case garnered significant media attention. Flyers with her photograph and pertinent information were distributed far and wide, and the community rallied in a desperate attempt to bring her home safely. The very fact that a young girl had vanished into thin air shook the collective consciousness of Long Island. The underground bunker in which Katie Beers was held captive for 17 days was a grim and oppressive place, concealed beneath the surface of Bayshore, New York. The conditions within this subterranean prison was designed to instill fear, isolation, and helplessness. The bunker itself was minuscule, measuring a mere 6 feet by 7 feet. It was a claustrophobic space with low ceilings, dim lighting, and little ventilation. The walls were constructed from wood and fortified with concrete, rendering them nearly soundproof and impenetrable. The only entrance was a heavy steel door, making escape impossible. Katie was confined to a confined, cold, and deep chamber with no access to natural light. Inside the bunker, there was a chilling lack of amenities. The only piece of furniture was a squalid mattress lying on the cold floor. A small television, likely used by our captor, was the only source of entertainment or distraction. The bunker was far from any kind of home. It was a grim reminder of her captivity and the sinister intentions of her abductor. What made the situation even more terrifying was that John Esposito, her captor, had rigged the bunker with surveillance cameras. This meant that Katie was under constant watch, further eroding her sense of privacy and freedom. She was never alone, even within the stifling confines of her underground prison. Despite the unimaginable circumstances, Katie displayed remarkable resilience. She used her limited freedom and resources to her advantage. She bonded with the television in her bunker, watching cartoons, and even sneaking in educational programs that helped her pass the time. Katie's intelligence and strength of spirit became evident as she maintained a sense of hope and purpose. Her captor, John Esposito, would occasionally visit the bunker to deliver food and check on her. These visits were intense and distressing moments, but Katie learned to cooperate, biding her time and keeping her true feelings hidden. She knew that her survival depended on maintaining a facade of compliance. But perhaps one of the most astonishing aspects of her captivity was her ability to connect with her captor, John Esposito. In the most dire of circumstances, she managed to find common ground with him through conversation and trust. While these actions may have played a role to her eventual release, they also underscored Katie Beer's remarkable strength and her ability to adapt to the bleakest of circumstances. Her 17 days in the bunker were an excruciating ordeal. Katie's resilience and survival instincts carried her through into her eventual rescue. Her ability to find a glimmer of humanity in her captor's darkness and to maintain her sanity under such dire circumstances is a testament to the strength of the human spirit. Katie Beer's harrowing 17-day captivity came to an end thanks to a major breakthrough in the case that ultimately led to her discovery and rescue. The discovery brought an end to a nightmarish ordeal and ignited a series of legal proceedings that would expose the true extent of her captor's motives. The turning point in the investigation was the involvement of John Esposito's estranged wife, who had grown suspicious of her husband's activities. She contacted the police with crucial information, revealing that Esposito had been involved in Katie's abduction. Law enforcement quickly shifted their focus towards Esposito as the primary suspect. On January 13, 1993, the police arrested John Esposito. This arrest came after Esposito finally confessed to his involvement in the crime, leading them to the underground bunker where Katie was held captive. It was a chilling and vital discovery that brought an end to the young girl's traumatic captivity. Esposito's motive for abducting Katie were complex and disturbing. His initial relationship with the Beers family, which included gifts and attention lavished upon Katie and her brother, took a sinister turn when he began sexually abusing them. Esposito's dark history was revealed. He had previously been arrested in 1977 for the attempted abduction of a 12-year-old boy. His past actions suggested a deeply troubled and dangerous individual. Katie's abduction, it appeared, was driven by a mix of sinister desires, including a fixation on her. The underground bunker was a place where he could maintain complete control over her and continue the abuse without fear of discovery. It was a shocking revelation of a predator's calculated actions. The legal proceedings that followed were intense. John Esposito pleaded guilty to kidnapping Katie Beers. In a subsequent trial, he was sentenced to 15 years to life in prison for his heinous actions. The justice system had at last held him accountable for the torment he had inflicted on Katie and her family. The case of Katie Beers led to a re-examination of child protection laws and the importance of vigilance in cases of potential abuse. It highlighted the need for communities and families to be aware of warning signs and to take immediate action when something seemed amiss. Katie's story became a cautionary tale of the dangers children could face even with their own trusted circles. The ordeal that Katie Beers endured during her 17-day captivity in an underground bunker was nothing short of a nightmare. The physical, psychological, and emotional impact of this traumatic experience was profound. But Katie's resilience, coupled with unwavering support, allowed her to rebuild her life and become an advocate for child safety. Katie's rescue from the hidden bunker in Bayshore was a moment of salvation, but it also marked the beginning of a long and challenging road to recovery. The psychological scars left by her captive ran deep. She had been subjected to unimaginable horrors, including sexual abuse, isolation, and manipulation. all at the hands of a man who had been known to her as a family friend. The sense of trust that had been betrayed left her emotionally scarred. Following her rescue, Katie was placed in foster care. This decision was made to ensure her safety and provide her with a stable and nurturing environment. Adjusting to life with new family and in a different environment was a difficult process. However, her foster parents offered the love and support she desperately needed. Recovery was a long and arduous journey. The trauma from her kidnapping involved not only physical but also emotional and psychological wounds. It was something that Katie had to work through over time. She underwent extensive counseling and therapy to help her cope with the lingering effects of her traumatic experience. Learning to trust again was a significant step in her healing process. Despite the immense challenges, Katie Beers displayed remarkable resilience. Her courage and determination in the face of adversity inspired those who knew her story. As she grew older, she recognized the importance of using her experience to make a difference in the lives of others. Katie became an advocate for child safety, using her story to raise awareness about child abduction and abuse. She channeled her traumatic past into something positive, educating the public about the warning signs of child abuse and the importance of early intervention. Her story served as a powerful reminder of the need for communities to come together and protect their children from potential harm. In her advocacy work, Katie traveled to schools, organizations, and events, sharing her story and offering guidance on child safety. She also co-authored a book about her life, Buried Memories, Katie Beers' Story, which allowed her to reach to an even broader audience. Katie's recovery and her commitment to advocacy sent a clear message of hope and resilience. Her ability to transform a traumatic past into a source of strength and inspiration was a testament to the indomitable human spirit. The enduring legacy of Katie Beers' story is a reminder of the power of survival, the importance of community support, and the significance of protecting our children from harm. Katie Beers is a beacon of hope and proof that even in the face of the darkest of circumstances, the human spirit can prevail.
Thanks for watching, everyone. Let me know what you thought about this video down in the comment section below. If you like this true crime story, why not watch this story next?